What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Bank of America basically telling the auto industry here in America it's time to abandon China. What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And we cover a lot of stuff for Stellantis here on this channel. Recalls, Mickey Mouse ass behavior from their executives, all of this stuff, right? People leaving, people coming, people going, yada, 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 yada. Well, Bank of America has come out, and if you don't know, Bank of America literally donates, or not donates, but they loan a lot of money to the big three auto manufacturers. And now, big three is literally confined to Tesla, GM, and Ford. Those are the big three American auto manufacturers because, as Carlos said when he came, Carlos Tavares, CEO of Stellantis, when he came here to Michigan recently, here in the United States, that Stellantis is a European company, meaning Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, no longer American. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I think we could change Carlos Tavares' mind really quick, depending on what administration is in office and how much they have to pay if they want to continue to sell those brands. But today, we're going to talk about an article I saw over here in Fortune. I'll put it right here, where it says Bank of America tells Detroit's big three they can't make money in China and should just leave the hyper-competitive car market as soon as they possibly can. Now, there's a reason for that. So China... now Buick is huge in China. I don't know if you know this or not, and that has nothing to do with Stellantis. But there are American brands that are huge in China. But China puts a massive tariff or tax on every American vehicle that comes in there. As we have now added 100% tariff on every single EV that comes in from China, I think it needs to be more. Now, Stellantis has got into this strategic partnership with Leap Motors, a Chinese brand, and what they want to try to do is be able to circumvent those tariffs by manufacturing vehicles in countries that would get around those tariffs, right? Like we've talked about before, and I think myself and Bart the Insider have had conversations about this, that I wouldn't be surprised if Leap Motors tries to build a factory in Mexico to try to get around that 100% tariff to be able to sell those cars cheaper here in the United States. And I think our current political landscape needs to, and people that are in power now and people who could be coming into power, need to look at changing the way those tariffs work into Americanly held companies or foreign held companies and where they manufacture them, try to get around those tariffs. Now, it's funny. General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis should abandon the competitive Chinese market as soon as they possibly can and focus on the U.S., Bank of America analysts believe. Now, they're going by this because of how cheap it is. China as a government is going to, as we should, focus more on their local brands to be able to manufacture, build, and put these out and export these all over the world. And us being in China, while it is a huge market, right? And I don't think General Motors is going to abandon it just because of Buick, right? But Ford and Stellantis with their investment in Elite Motors, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be an item that ends up biting these companies in the ass later. And that's because, the Chinese Communist Party literally dictates everything that happens in that country. Business, if you start getting to be too big and too big for your britches, look at Jack Ma. They slapped him down so fast it wasn't even funny. You don't even see him outside anymore. And I see American brands there failing, and I feel like China's like, yeah, come in. And they have you do these big, massive investments in their country so that then they can turn around, stab you in the back, cause your company to have massive financial distress so that they can buy you. I think Bank of America is one, with they have Merrill Lynch behind them, but I think Bank of America and the analysts that are behind it are talking about things that are actual that are solid. It's not like conjecture. Oh, we think this is going to happen because of Taiwan and this and this and this. No, this market is extremely competitive. It costs you so much to do business there. You could barely scrape $1 out of that market, right? On units, right? Like when I mean that facetiously, right? You can make more money if you just focused on stuff at home, right? And I guess the biggest thing for me is we'll see if Stellantis's investment in Leap Motors, their buy-in there into China is going to work. I think it's going to be one of the biggest downfalls of their company outside of them destroying the American brands that they purchased here in America. But I don't know. We have a lot of financial gurus follow us here. What do you guys think about Bank of America saying they think that the big automakers in, Stellantis, Ford, and GM should step away from China? I find it interesting they don't mention Tesla in there at all, with Tesla doing all the business that they do in China. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.